What's up, everybody? Check this out. Here's my plan. I have the van emptied out there, and I got these two kayaks. And what we're gonna do is we're going to make a rack that goes right here. I already got it drawn out, so I'm just gonna make it. I'm gonna have a cabinet here where this tape line is, and a cabinet there where that tape line is. So I'm gonna make a frame that interlocks. There's no hardware, and it'll come apart and be able to pack flat. So I'm gonna make that now, and you can see the process. Hold on, check it out. So the first thing is I gotta measure out some boards that are gonna go sideways in the van. As you can see here, I put them with the kayak sitting there. They're in the front and in back of where it's actually sitting flat on the floor. First ones, I just got them propped up there, you can see. So this shows me where my cross braces need to be, and I'm just going to measure between those and then measure to the back one. Here I'm making just like a quick and dirty template for to try and match the underside of the kayak. Let's see how it fits. It's pretty close. You can see there's a little spot there where it touches, so I'm just going to mark that. And I marked it. Now there's another little spot. You know, it's just, you just keep on kind of refining it. I'm making it the size of that 1x6. I used 1x6s. So now I need to pull that back a little bit, mark that, and I'll have a pretty good line. I want it to be even, the flat side, I want it to be even with the edge. You can see I have to add a little bit there, and I got a stick here. So basically it's going to go about there, so because this side of the thing is going to be connected to the cabinets. Now this is how I drew them out. I just did this in Procreate. I think this is going to work out really well. So basically that's what I'm going to do, is have a couple of the sliders will sit in. They'll be like slotted in right there and right there, and should work. Here I'm just refining the template a little bit, and I'm going to cut out a new one that'll be my guide. And I have this little piece of cutoff of a 1x4, and I'm just going to use that as my little template for the notches. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm just marking that, and I suppose I should mark where the actual line is, because I'm not cutting that full shape out, just the like half of it. That way the pieces will interlock. And then I'm going to add it over on the other side like that. And when I put them in at an angle, it'll help keep them in place, because, you know, gravity. And time to cut. Cut. All these are sped up, double speed. Still too slow, but whatever. I love this little battery operated Milwaukee jigsaw. It's great, but I don't know why they don't have little air vent in the front to blow the dust out of the way. Like, I've had other saws that have that. They have little vent in the front, and it just clears the path, which is really cool. So I'm gonna see if I might replace it with another one. See if Milwaukee has another saw that does that, because I like to keep all my tools, you know, so I can, in the same family, so I can use the batteries. So here I'm just tracing out the patterns, and just going to cut them all out. I'm going to do the first 3 to see, make sure they work and everything, and then we'll have to rinse and repeat. So you can see I'm just rounding these off. I had very little waste left over. There's just those little corner pieces. I like to always kind of plan things where I'm not going to wind up with a bunch of extra wood. Here I'm cutting out the notches. I'm trying to keep them fairly tight, not super tight where I have to hammer the boards in, but not loose where they're just going to flop around in there. So I gave them a little bit of, kept them a little tight. That way I can see if they work. Then I can cut them open a little bit if I need to. Here I'm doing the little tiny pieces on the left side. I'm referencing my drawing, and I'm just going to freehand in this little radius here. It doesn't have to be any kind of precise, really. It's cool to have a drawing that I can reference and just to eyeball it and make sure that it's going the way I've foreseen, as they would say. Watch your fingers, Scott. Don't cut them off. Okay, so this is how they're gonna be. Let's turn that off. So they're gonna be in that orientation. So there's the first piece, there's the second piece with the extra notch, and then the little piece. So I'm digging this so far. I got to do all these 3 more times. No, 2 more times. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So I want to put little stand-ups on these uprights to give them a little lateral stability. So what I'm doing is I'm marking the middle here and using my little 1x4 cutoff piece. I'm just tracing out that shape, and I'm going to cut those out. A lot of repetition here. I'm making 9 of these pieces, so I'm going to see how they're straight. It's straight at the top. I'm going to bevel that, I think, because it'll just look cleaner. Yep, there we go. Yeah, just a little angle makes it look a little bit nicer. There's less hard edges for something to catch on or whatever. I'm also going to sand all this stuff later. I'm going to sand the edges down, kind of round them out a bit, and I'm going to stain it. So here we go. I have all the pieces. They have the little stand-ups or whatever you want to call them, the braces. And these 3 are actually screwed onto the boards now. We'll call those the runners, I guess. So they're going to be arranged like that, like in the drawing. And I just have to figure out the spacing of it. And that's really going to depend on that last one up in the top there. So all the notches are good. They're all going to line up. That one goes up, that one goes up. They should all sit in there real nice. So we're going to put the notches in the rails. And I measured these out. I think it was 27 and 19 were the spacing of those for the way I had it set up in the van. And yeah, they just kind of notch in and stay there real nice. Now I'm going to round off the top of that board, all 4 of them that go all the way back that the kayaks will slide on, just so there's not a hard edge. And yeah, that looks pretty good. So here I'm going to drop these in where they go, and that's when I measured the distance between them. So yeah, that angle looks nice. Definitely digging that. As I said before, I think the distance between those two was like 27 inches or something. And then between that one and this one was like 19. So this is cool, the way these sit in there. I can just, when I put the kayaks away, like for the winter, I can just take this rack and pull those rails off and pretty much flat pack it. The 3 upright pieces will settle in nicely together, but at least it's not a big giant rack that I have to like try and hang on the wall or whatever. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna label them A, B, and C. Like probably write it down in one of the notches, and then I'm also gonna label the runners that the kayak slide on. I'll label those 1, 2, 3, and 4, just so I make sure that they go back in the same place, because once this is already set up, they all go in very nicely. So this is the final kind of setup here. There we go, pop it right in. Now right now in this video, these boards, you can see they're sticking out of the back of the van. Like they're, I left them long on purpose so that once I get the kayaks in, I could kind of see where I wanted to end them. So I think I ended up in the end cutting them so like only 8 inches extended past the last uprights there. That's it, they just all fit in place and stay. And here I'm going to load in the kayaks. And thanks to my careful measuring, it slides right in. Just pretty. Obviously my orange carpet isn't going to be in there. I'm going to get some indoor-outdoor carpet to put under the whole thing. So if it drips, it's wet, whatever, it'll be fine. And I'll put the rack on top of that. I gotta get a new hatch cover for that one, the first kayak I put in. I got those 2 kayaks for 200 bucks. What a deal. So that's how it looks, all finished. And everything fits in there super nice. Now I'll still be able to have my bed over top of this, and have cabinets in there. I'll talk about that in a minute. But you can see here like how smooth that is. I'm gonna round that corner off. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. And those little supports really stabilize it a lot from going back and forth. So over here, there's going to be a cabinet where this tape line is. There's a cabinet that goes up, and then on both sides, and these things will lock into it. Now I want to do a little deck that extends back to here. It'll be on 2 legs, and it'll go all the way back, and that's where I'll put my oars when I have those. And then in the back here, let me move this. I'm gonna get one of those flat, like Rubbermaid trays that you put your boots and stuff on, just for wet and sandy stuff. I'm gonna stain it, and that's pretty much about it. So thanks for watching. I hope you got a little bit of, a little bit of enjoyment out of this. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications and all that YouTube stuff. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.